Shall we do this, ladies and gentlemen? All right. I would like to call the mayor. I will be entertaining, once we come to order, that I will be entertaining motions to excuse the mayor and to excuse Jerry Gross. The mayor is ill tonight, and Jerry Gross has a death in the family. So we will be entertaining motions once we have actually gone into the meeting to excuse them. The mayor has like a sinus thing. He's not dying, not doing well. So I just want to make sure nobody's like, he's just not feeling well. So Jerry, I'll do my best to not muck it up. He's already. Right, he's already like, why are you talking about my sinus? So I would like to call the meeting to order of the Thursday, January 11th, 2018, and we will call it to order at 7:04 of Cedar Springs City Council. Please rise and say the pledge with me if you feel so inclined. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I will take a motion. Well, I'll call the roll and then I'll take a motion. Ms. Ashton here. The Mayor Pro Tem is here. Mr. Gross is absent. Mr. Hawkins. Here. Ms. Nixon. Here. Ms. Powell. Here. And Mayor Hall is absent.
I would like to make a motion to excuse Mayor Hall and Mr. Gross.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. Public comments. The council welcomes and encourages the public to speak during the public comment and the public hearing portions of the agenda. However, council policy is to hear the public comment, not to act on the public comment at this time. Concerns brought before the council during the public comment portion of the agenda will be referred to the city manager for action. If after communicating with the city manager no resolution is reached, the concern will be elevated to the mayor and then eventually to the council for action. Those citizens wishing to speak on the agenda or non-agenda items will be allowed a maximum of 4 minutes each to address their concerns. This is the only time during the council meeting that citizens are allowed to address the council. If you are willing and would like to be contacted, please state your name and address for the record. Would anyone wish to speak to the council at this time?
Good afternoon, State Senator Peter McGregor, and it's been probably over a year since I've checked in with the City Council. So I had an open Thursday, got out of Lansing early today, so I thought I'd come in, and I really don't have an agenda or anything to tell you other than I will sit and listen and stay for the whole meeting. And if anybody has any questions for me, I'd be more than happy to answer them, but I'll also wait till the end of the meeting. So if anybody has anything that they'd like to discuss with me or just check in with me, that'd be great. But for the record, I would like to give everybody my cell phone number. I'd like to do that just in case if something does come up between now and the next time I'm able to stop by, or if you want to have a cup of coffee with me, that's the best way to sit down and have a conversation with me. I'm not a big fan of email or Facebook or anything like that. I like one-on-one conversations, and I'll even buy the cup of coffee. So it's 616-581-2025, and that's anybody that is an elected official or citizens or any of the staff. I don't think I've met you, Michael, yet, the city manager, but I'd love to sit down and have conversations. I know something very important coming up here is this next year's budget, which starts October 1, but we'll be going through that budget cycle. The governor will be presenting that, I think, early February, February 8th or 9th, I believe. And then it's up to the legislature. And I do sit on the Appropriations Committee to propose that budget, and so we usually like to try and get that done before June 1st. We've been doing it early and on time. I should say on time and early for the past 7 years. We want to continue to do that. That doesn't mean you like what we do. It just means we're doing our job and we're making sure we get it done in a timely manner. But I'd love to sit down and talk. If you want to talk revenue sharing, I'd be happy to talk about revenue sharing. If you want to talk about policy, I'd be happy to talk about policy or anything else that's out there. That's why I'm here. So I'm just here to listen, and so I appreciate that. And again, anybody want to have a cup of coffee with me? Mondays and Fridays and Saturdays are the best days to do it. Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak to the council at this time?
Gary Need, 138 South Fifth Street. Back in August, I had petitioned council petition to change the ordinance of the city of plugging your trailers in. I had talked to Mike a couple times on it, and that's as far as it went. And I want to get it motivated because if it takes this long to get this far, how long is it going to take for the summer when the trailers are going to be plugged in again? I know it's not a high priority for you guys, but to me it's important, and I'd like to have it addressed. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Manager, when it came before us before with the petition, didn't we say we were going to send that to the planning commission to look at the ordinance language?
I don't remember. I guess to kind of clear what's going on, it's a fairly comprehensive problem because we do have a lot of people who will store their boats, trailers,
Right.
etc., everywhere in the city. And if you look at what the ordinances currently say, they're actually pretty strict against it. So the Planning Commission's been working on some pretty important stuff right now with
Right.
business, bringing more business from it. So I didn't see it as high priority. So what I was doing instead was I wasn't enforcing that ordinance. We hadn't enforced it since I've had the discussion regarding plugging the trailer in. I think that's one of those things where we're going to have a meeting of the minds with the council about what they want to see moving forward. Because it's my understanding that in years previous when I was here, there were some, I guess, fights going on between administration and council and the citizens about, the identity and character of the city. And so if council wants to allow people to leave their boats and stuff plugged in, I'm okay with that. But we'll have to change the rules to allow that.
Sure. I just was trying to clarify. I was under the impression, and if they just haven't got to it at that time, but I was under the impression that when it was brought to us, that we were basically told it was within the purview of the planning commission.
I suspect it would be.
Okay.
This is probably a zoning issue.
Okay.
That's where we go, but,
They have other things in front.
Yeah,
I get it.
basically.
I just wanted to make sure
sure,
that
we haven't forgotten.
it went to them and they just aren't there yet, which is different than if we had ignored it.
Yeah, very much.
That answers my question. Thank you. And thank you for bringing it back to us. Anybody else?
Jimmy McHugh, Yankee Zephyr Racing Promotions, 13401 Alden Lakes Drive, Sparta, Michigan. It's hot out.
Are we going to swim?
Marty did this. I know he did. He's like that. Anyways, what I wanted to ask the council tonight, we had an event on the city property out there just at the end of West Street the weekend before Christmas. That was, on one hand, a huge hit. On the other hand, didn't work out so good. Spectator count was, we had 58 people show up to that show. We learned very big lessons. Don't run a race the weekend before Christmas. Doesn't work out so good. Everybody's busy. Driver count and anybody else that wanted to come play, it worked out really, really well. The thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is I would like to add some more dirt to the drag racing portion of that land. The problem that we got is it's bumpy. It's not flat. There is a huge pile of dirt that starts from way, way back at the other end and then eventually comes along and winds up being leaves.
Compost.
It's compost, yes. All we're looking to do is we don't want to move any dirt. We don't want to take stuff out. We want to add to it. there's dips and there's rolls in it. And, you know, a lot of the sleds that were, you know, racing out there are going to do okay, but some of them out there, they only got 2 inches of travel in them and they get bouncing pretty good. So if I got enough snow, I have no problem with filling in that hole. But even with the amount of snow that we had in December, it turned into a snow-covered grass drag real fast. And a lot of you have probably never been to my facility that we had at the Berry Expo Center that we started in 1995, and we stopped racing there in 2015. The first thing that we did, because we left a track in Smyrna that was pretty much a dirt bike course that we raced snowmobiles on, was we made that thing flat. It was much safer, everybody had a better time, and we put on a better show. So what I am asking at this point is, and I am going to use a local contractor from the city, which is Turfs R Us. They're right next door to the place. I don't want to do this now. I want to do this like, you know, in May or June. Before they get really busy, I need them to come over there with a loader. I own a construction company, so I'll be out there with a laser transit making everything flat. Put dirt here, put dirt there. We need to go 120 foot wide on the footprint from the center of the race surface that we're playing with right now, and 2,500 foot long. Are we going to put all brand new dirt in that area? No. We just need to fill in the holes. One of the biggest things that we need to fill in, keep in mind that that was the lagoons for years and years and years. They were terraced, so they were set up at different levels. Fortunately, where we're at right now, there's only a 6.5 foot difference from the 500 foot part where the track ends to the next level. Well, that's a pretty darn good drop when you're going 130 miles an hour and all of a sudden you let go of the throttle and the dirt drops 6 feet. So right now, we have put snow in that. Okay, we take all the snow out of the field and put it in there to fill it up. It would be nice if we could go from that point out about 400 feet and gradually make a nice little slope, is what we would like to do. And then, once again, as I had stated before, if there's a low spot, which there is, there's places. You go out there and drive around with a truck, you're going up and down pretty good. So just in the footprint of where the drag strip is, down to the shutdown area itself, we just want to make flat. So, and at 100% of Yankees' efforts expense, I'm going to go get the guys from Turfs R Us. They're snowmobile buddies of mine. They'll come over there with a loader and help us out. We just want to use your dirt, if that's okay. So that's something that I would like to be considered.
I'm going to hand this off to the city manager and the DPW folks. I know that we have some issues with that being a capped brownfield, so I don't know what the restrictions are regarding that.
And that's why I was asking, I really would like, you know, to present it to whoever is the power that you have to talk to is. I'm not taking dirt out, I'm putting dirt on. So that's kind of what we want.
So I would say talk to the city manager and our DPW director in more detail.
This is the first time I'm hearing of it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just came up, you know.
Good enough. So what I would tell you is please talk to our city manager and our director of DPW who maintain that space, who could tell you more if that's going to work or if it's not going to work based on federal guidelines.
Then we'll do that. Okay then. All right. Thank you very much. And pray for snow. Thank you. We'll see you.
Anyone else? All right. Moving on. Public hearings. We do not have any tonight. At this time, I would like a motion to adopt the agenda.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I believe we have a couple of changes we'd like to make.
Yes. If we could remove item 6F and 8A, and then add item 8D for wastewater treatment plant asset management plan.
That would be maybe 8D.
With the removal of 8A would become 8D.
Okay, so 8. Do that one more time.
So remove item 6F and 8A, and then add an item 8D, wastewater treatment plant asset management.
At which point, actually, don't we just move everything, like 8A becomes E becomes A, C becomes B, D becomes C,
Then you would be what she was just asking for.
and that's the water treatment. Okay. No? Mr. Deeskat?
I think there's just clarification on the
It's a water, not wastewater.
Oh, just water, okay.
Water distribution system as like I had complained on this one.
Got it, okay. Are we,
And we'll walk you through when we.
okay, are we good? So I'll take a motion to adopt the agenda
With
with
changes.
those changes as presented.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries. The agenda is adopted. Moving on to action items.
Consent agenda. Make a
Oh,
motion
we
to
need
approve the
to,
consent
sorry,
agenda.
we need to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, so I guess we should probably do a roll call since this includes the money. Ms. Atchison.
Yes.
And Mr. Hopkins.
Yes.
Ms. Nixon. Yes. Ms. Powell.
Yes.
And the Mayor Pro Tem votes yes. The consent agenda is adopted. Moving on to action items. Motion to approve purchase policy amendment. Language, this is the thing the city manager had brought to us previously about increasing the amount that the manager is allowed to approve and correct.
Yeah, if you'd like me to.
That would be wonderful, Mr. Manager.
So, the personnel policies, the purchasing policy included within them, and I believe that's many years old at this point. We did previously, I think last year now, yeah, it's January, isn't it? So last year now, we approved a change to that that would increase the level to, I believe, 20,000, which would require our bidding system. At this point, we're now asking to increase from 1,000 to 3,000 the amount of money that would require to come and get council approval. I think previously we talked about oil changes costing, X number of dollars and all that. And last time we talked about it, we thought maybe we'd come back with 5,000. I think 3,000 meets most of our needs. And I think anything that's above and beyond that, as you guys know, my practice is to come and talk to you guys anyways about it via phone. So I always like to have pre-approval before I do something like that. But I think 3,000 balances the needs of council to oversight the spending of the city, while on the other hand, for allowing us the freedom. We spend $1.6 million or so each year, so we have to be able to spend money in greater than $1,000 increments. So I would ask that you guys approve that amendment and allow us to increase our spending limit to $3,000.
Is there a motion?
And I should point out, there are some other minor changes that were made, but nothing substantive.
So we are making a motion to accept the consent agenda?
No.
No, we are on action item 7A, the
Okay.
motion to approve the purchase policy agreement.
Okay.
This is something we discussed last meeting.
Wasn't it at 550 at one point?
The 500 is the amount at the manager's discretion currently.
I think it might have been 1,000. I think we bumped it up last year, and now we're asking for a second increase.
Right, I was saying at one time it was 500. He was saying 550. I'm
Yeah.
saying at one time it was 500.
It's confusing language because I think it was 50 to 500,
Yes.
and yeah, we increased that to 1,000. So
And we discussed 5,000 at the last meeting, but we reduced it to 3,000?
That's
Yeah.
the manager's recommendation
Okay.
after the discussion at the last meeting.
All right. So I'll make a motion to approve the purchase policy amendment.
I will do a roll call.
Well, should we have more discussion or we just?
I can, is there more discussion?
Well, just typically it's discussion after
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
My opinion is it's not necessarily when we're making these type of amendments and that, it's not about who's in charge right now, it's who may potentially be in charge down the road. The 3,000 I'm more apt for. I wouldn't go for the 5,000 because you never know when somebody's just gonna start maxing it out each time. There's one of the things at our Thanksgiving discussion with my brother-in-law, who's a commissioner in Bay City, they talked about where they run into issues when they started giving too much leeway to a good city manager, and then that switched over to a not so good city manager that started making deals for the community to be the way he wanted, and they spent per quota, but more in a year than what the city really could handle. And so we have to be careful of that when we start getting too much to not have to cover for city council.
Clarify your position that the 3,000 is
3,000 is fine, but I wouldn't go for anything higher than that.
The motion on the table is for 3.
If I could just answer that question. And I totally agree, and I understand which position it's. But we do have good staff that oversees what I do as well. The treasurer certainly would not let me get in trouble, and if she did, she knows who to talk to. But no, I completely understand. It is the council's prerogative to watch the people's money. But some of the things we do are expensive, and some of the things we do can't wait 30 days. So again, as you guys know, it's my intent to always bring questions of money to you guys as soon as I possibly can, so you know what's coming. But sometimes, things are just expensive.
And I will say you haven't had special meetings.
Yeah.
So, more discussion? I will do a roll call. Ms. Atchison?
Yes.
Mr. Hopkins?
Yes.
Ms. Nixon?
Yes.
Ms. Powell?
Yes.
And Mayor Pro Tem votes yes. The motion carries. On to item... Sorry, I'm scrolling back. Action item B, 7B, ordinance 194, repeal and replace farmer's market first reading. So we had a farmer's market for the first time last year. We put in some ordinance language, and I think we are attempting to adjust that some. Mr. Manager?
Yeah, so this is, it's almost silly to me, how this came about. So, every, I believe it's 2 years, we're supposed to codify all the ordinances from the previous 2 years in the Muni Code. And, the Muni Code is what I and everybody else uses online, so you know what the rules and laws of the city are. So when I first came on board, I was asked to look into writing an ordinance for the farmer's market, which I did. Unfortunately, there was one tiny little section in that ordinance which referred back to a section on Muni Code, as I read it, which no longer existed because Ordinance 193 had previously gotten rid of it. So when we went to go recodify it, 193, 194, etc., they couldn't do it. So this updated version is almost identical to what you saw previously. It allows the farmers markets in the same way as, it was previously allowed. It just removes the language which refers back to the section that 193 changed.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the new language for ordinance number 194 for the farmers market.
Second.
Any discussion?
Ms. Newland, is that a sufficient motion for you? Because this is not ordinance 194. This is a ordinance to replace 194. It's unnumbered at this point?
Yes, it's unnumbered.
Do you want to
Yes.
number
There is
attached?
not, I would say no at this point. Generally, those are assigned after it's passed.
Got it.
At this point, there's no need for a motion except the first reading.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see.
It was as in, but I see it as first reading now. So this should really be a discussion.
I guess. A motion to read.
Okay. Good enough. So you don't need a vote on this. So shall I suspend the motion?
Well, we do have the option, we can pass it if we want to, right, if there's nothing really needs changed.
No, by law you have to read it twice.
Because it's an ordinance change.
Very good. I will draw the motion.
And I apologize now I'm looking at it. We've got 3 first readings. I'll tell you how this came about. There were motions attached to each of these, which then got turned into letter E.
Got it.
So you can read each of them, then we'll just go and make one motion.
And I guess I didn't understand when reading through it earlier that these were, because they're things that are basically shifting things we've already talked about, they felt like not like the B, we've talked about the B
Sure,
ordinance
yeah.
100 times. So I didn't understand that it was a first reading, technically.
It's just that we changed it
I-
from four
I-
motions to one
I
motion.
get it. It just, I'm saying I missed it as well. Because none of these are a thing we haven't seen before. Alrighty, then discussion on the sign ordinance for first reading. Anyone have any questions about that? And this is something that has been sent to us from the planning commission, I believe.
Right.
They have reworked to this.
I believe we've made a couple minor changes that we would like to let you know about now. Rebecca, do you have notes on what I've told you throughout the week?
It was the sandwich board
Yes,
waiting
so-
on private property.
So there's two changes. The first is that the original language recommended by the planning commission says that you can have a digital sign as a ground sign. Throughout discussions, though, it was clear that they intended to allow digital signs on pole signs in the HC district.
Okay.
So I did make some minor language change. I highlighted in yellow, so you should see that. It says exactly that. But also, for sandwich board signs in the downtown district, those signs are now exempt from any kind of permitting if they're placed on private property. Okay? So the problem is, we're fearful that when somebody, a business owner, reads that, they're going to say, hey, great, it's exempt, right? It's only exempt if it's on private property, but it doesn't say that, because you have to go to a different section of the ordinance to read that part of it. So I do just want to add the language that says, exempted on private property. So with those two changes, I would ask that you first read and then we can pass it at the next council meeting.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions about those changes.
So what would this mean for the downtown businesses? Because they own up to the sidewalk, don't they?
It depends on which, it's very kind of wonky. There is, I think the Ensleys, they own up to the first concrete block in the pavement. And they've shown me a survey to prove this. Because otherwise, they would have to give the city a certificate of insurance and the city additional insurance. Because we don't want people tripping on the sidewalk over a sign and then suing the city. So if they can prove that they're putting their sign on their own private property, they don't need this permit and they don't need to get this insurance.
There's a couple other ones down through Main Street, but it's not every building's flat straight. It's not a straight plot. Like some buildings,
Going to be very.
they have 3 inches of the sidewalk that they own. Other ones it's 3 foot. So it would be case by case, depending on who actually owns portions of the sidewalk and who the city owns on the sidewalk.
That sounds like a mess.
Yes.
And that was where some of the ordinances that they're shooting in the
City of
downtown.
Gould, our buildings were built in different times,
Okay.
different setbacks.
I'm concerned for you going forward.
It's been fun trying to write the permit in such a way as to get, well, the ordinance, but the actual permit people would have to submit for signs. It's a doozy.
Okay.
But it's still better than the old one.
Okay, well, I guess a step in the right direction. I'm ready to.
Okay, other questions?
Just that the majority of the sandwich signs are actually on the public sidewalk.
In the downtown core, but this is also expanding sandwich boards to most of the commercial areas of the city.
Okay.
So if you're McDonald's and you want to put a sandwich board sign on your private property, which is all theirs, they can do that. And it would be exempt.
Okay, other discussion?
I have one other question.
Certainly.
So there was some talk at one point of, I know the schools aren't really part of this, but any, like the library, if they wanted to do signs on the library property, does this apply? Because technically they're city-owned.
Yeah, well, they also don't have any library property.
Yeah, I was going to say,
The
they
area
only
that surrounds the library is considered city park.
Okay.
But we are going to work not only with the library, but with the farmer's market to maybe have some signage up there.
Okay.
But municipal buildings are not commercial buildings. Like, we put the voting sign out.
Sure.
So the library is a municipal building on city property.
There may also be a clause in there about exempting municipal signage used for municipal purposes.
Yeah.
But if you remember, city council did waive for 2 years the fee on the
Oh, yeah,
applications. Yeah. So there's always the option of still having to go out to get the forms and all that, but that waive their fee.
Oh, speaking of which, is that up this year? Because it was through 2018.
We
end of
were under the
2018?
impression that it would be through this year,
Through the end of it.
but we want to see how this new sign ordinance kind of takes effect and see whether, that increases usage, et cetera.
Okay.
Other discussion? All right, then moving on to the revised B ordinance. And this is astounding to me, this is the first reading. I swear, we've done this at least a half a dozen times. But I hear the planning commission has a recommendation now at this point.
Yep, they worked on it pretty extensively. I'm kind of surprised at the amount of people who are in favor of this. But a couple of things I would just bring to your attention is that we've, for the most part, mirrored the requirements of this ordinance to reflect what's presented in the Michigan GAMPS, which is basically apiary practices. And they suggest that you can have up to 2 hives on any piece of property, any size, does not matter. So the city's average size lot is about 8,700 square feet. We do have lots that are as small as 5,000 square feet. Now, the Planning Commission decided not to make a recommendation regarding a minimum size, and you certainly don't have to, but it's something you might want to think about and discuss. The other thing was a 6-foot privacy fence. The Planning Commission felt it appropriate that if you're going to have a beehive, they surround your property with a privacy fence. And the reasoning behind that is because the bees apparently will leave their hive until they hit something, and then they'll go up, and then continue at that height. So their hope is that if there's a 6-foot privacy fence, they'll continue to fly at 6 foot and avoid dogs, kids, whatever they're playing in the grass. Problem is privacy fences are expensive. So that requirement would make it expensive to get a permit.
And I think that was the reason why the planning commission didn't make it in there, right?
The recommendation from the, I thought that was part of the recommendation.
No, you were saying that was on the one draft.
I was going to say, I thought it was in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Planning Commission recommended that.
Now, to clarify, the 6-foot fence would not have to be around the entire property, it would have to be around the part where the bees are.
Well, I think the language says it would have to surround it on all sides. So you could,
Right.
you could put that around the entire yard, or you could put it around the entire hive.
Right.
I'd be more in favor of having it say around that hive, just because, again, the cost for somebody to have bees to keep their everything pollinated.
Well, but what it says is all directions. That doesn't say it has to be in your property line. It doesn't have to say, replacing your current fencing. So if they came to me with a plan that said, I'm going to put it around the hive, I'd approve that based on the language that's presented.
Which could be 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 foot by 6 foot.
Yeah, it's like that.
Most of the grammar in here is
Completely.
kind of makes it so that you can do
Right.
it on a case by case.
But they come in, I mean, I don't have bees, but I have a fenced-in, privacy fenced backyard of 6-foot fencing, and they come in 6-foot panels. They come in squares. I mean, you could do it in other ways too, but the vinyl ones come in 6 foot, and you could very easily do 6 foot, 6 foot, yeah, and do it in 4 panels with 4 posts.
Yeah, I should point out that I'm not the one who gets to decide. This is a planning commission decision.
Right, but I'm saying from the language of it, it
Sure.
doesn't say your entire yard needs to be. It says the hive needs to be.
Yeah, the point is to get the bees flying at 6 foot. So if they exit the hive and immediately hit a fence, then I think that accomplishes the goal.
And I'm not saying someone would have to do it that way. I'm saying they could do it that way.
I went to see Mr. Frank's bee setup and how he's got his hive, and he actually has it in a building, so that the bees fly in and out or come in and out of a small opening. So the hive is protected, which is a great thing, but then the bees need to go from the opening, they need to go up, say to your 6 foot, to fly over the neighborhood, however that works. So it'd be something that, in that way, the hive is protected. But would he have to put a fence around that opening?
Based on this, I believe the answer would be yes.
That would be my interpretation of the language that's here. Yeah.
Okay.
I do think that the planning commission also said that in addition to causing the bees to fly to 6 foot, to prevent people from throwing rocks or spraying, raid or something at the hive as well. So it's not just one reason.
Right.
Well, that, if it's surrounded with fence or whatever, it's less likely for somebody to see it and freak out because it's bees.
Yeah, it's just not visual. Attractive nuisance, like pools.
If a beehive is an attractive nuisance, man, oh man. When it doesn't attract me, I go in the opposite direction.
Well, it does for kids that like the product stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it's like the same thing as you can't dig a hole in your front yard and
Stay away from them skunks, they
leave
stink.
it, for someone to fall into.
Yeah. Well, so
Other discussion?
I think it's well written, and I think that they did a good job on it, and I don't see any real issues with it as far as I'm concerned.
Anybody else? Any other discussion? All right, moving on to item E. Motion to set public hearings for February 8th, 2018 at the next regular council meeting.
I would make a motion to set public hearings for those ordinances at the next regular council meeting on February 8th.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes, and those public hearing dates for those ordinances is set for February 8th, 2018 at the next council meeting. On to item 8, discussion items. And we were removing, no, we're good. Yes,
We
we're
did remove
removing
under
8A. So 8A is now 2018 Iron Bell Trail Project Proposal Grant Application. Mr. Manager?
Thank you. So I was approached by Mr. Mabey, and we did discuss this grant. I believe it's a $30,000 grant, and it's for the bridge, the very attractive bridge that we're hoping to put on White Pine Trail, which would replace a culvert that currently exists at that location. It's an ideal location that very strongly complement the aesthetic beauty of the Heart of Cedar Springs Park, but it would also increase the water flow going through that culvert, which I think would cause a significant reduction in the chance of flooding in the Heart of Cedar Springs and further upriver from that point. It's a pretty significant cost of the bridge. $30,000 will go a long way towards that. The only problem is I have to submit this on the 5th, and you guys weren't available until the 11th. So I did submit it in my name. And at this point, I'd kind of like to see where it comes back from the DNR. In any case, I submitted it on the city's behalf, and I think we'll be working with the CDT on fundraising to finally get that piece of the puzzle put in there. And I think it'd be great for the city overall.
What do you think the projected approximate total cost will be?
Well,
Approximately?
yeah, the difficulty is that we've been working with Mr. Slevens, who's the DNR contact regarding White Pine Trail, and he says significantly larger projects are about $900,000. So he said, this is going to be about one-third that size. So
is it
I'm guessing between $300,000 to $500,000, but
okay.
we do have Mr. Mabey in the audience if maybe you want to press him on that.
Mr. Maybe, do you have anything that you can add to this?
Well, one of the things I told Michael was the aspect that, we're going to get working on replacing Main Street Bridge, and work our way down, what we'll do is we'll take care of the water flow through Cedar Springs. Eventually, Cherry Street Bridge, you have to replace also, so.
Right.
By doing this, we're just looking farsighted down the road and taking care of the issues as we build and as we move along on that. Scott Slavin is the one that we don't have to work with, he's the one that proposed this to us, and,
He's the DN, for those watching at home, he works for the DNR.
He's got a White Knight Trail, and he's the one that suggested this to us, because this money here can be used for, engineers, take up the water flow, that kind of stuff. And on the other side, which I told him, we've already got a bunch of work already done by HRC, so we'll compare notes to see what we got, see what pennies we can continue to go on this as we move on. So something's gonna happen right away, what it is, we do want it on the burner, so we're working our way through it, because that culvert's from 1873, I think.
Sure.
So
Of course it is.
So it's time to repair it or replace it, so what we'll do is we move down the line also, as you know, we have folks in Cedar Springs that are very, very talented, and so we get eyeball and other bridges up and down the line, and I think it's time to get through that, reduce our costs, but we'll cross that so-called bridge when we get to it.
Sounds wonderful. I have a couple of questions. One is, so we got the state involved with the DNR, and then obviously our own local municipality. We've become a trail town, and the North Country Trail runs alongside that. Will this, because now at that point we're involving the federal government and the National Park Service, is this going to impact that in any capacity? Is that a piece of it?
Should not at this point in time,
Okay.
but because the North Country Trail is going to exit at Maple Street,
Okay.
heading west, coming down, and then the last road is supposed to come at you and break.
So that piece will not be part of the federal park?
No, it should not be.
Okay. And then I have,
And answer a little bit farther, the only way that might end with, one thing we're going to propose is to move ahead in the future, and when I say future, year or two from now, adding some loops, so for example, he would
Absolutely.
exit to go out Maple Street, out the Rural River, and maybe head up towards the Wave, and come back across State, and all back to the White Line Trail. We seem to lump the loops and that kind of
yes,
stuff.
I've actually talked to Luke from the National Park Service a little bit about that.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think it's a bad thing to have the federal government involved. I just want to make sure if they're supposed to be part of it, that we're including in the conversation as we start to build the bridge.
Right now, just teaming up in the partnership with the DNR is willing to do with us and help us look at
I think it's amazing.
various aspects of trying to bring money into Cedar Springs.
And then I have one more question. We had applied for some grants through a cold water trout program.
There's a water thing.
Is this going to impact that at all?
Say it again, Pam.
We have applied, help me someone who was on here when we did this, for some grants for protecting White Creek because it's a cold water trout stream.
That's what the wet water restitution stuff we're kind of going in.
Yeah.
Gosh, sorry, Zillian, Mr. Z, anyway.
I just want to make sure I want to make sure all the parks are talking to each other. That's all. Because if we had forgotten about.
What she was referring to was Josh Sardine
Josh,
stuff that we got going on in North Park and
that kind of stuff.
there by the heart.
Slow down the runoff coming out.
Right.
Yeah, we should be just fine, Pam, on that.
Okay, I just want to make sure everybody's
Yeah.
talking to everyone because
Josh
I
is
know.
always talking to everybody.
Good.
He's kind of, when it comes to that stuff, he's kind of the go-to person to
Okay.
talk to about that.
I think it's all wonderful. I just know that when you get into the combination of state meets federal, meets local, meets water protection, that you need to have everybody at the table.
That's why Pete's here tonight, helps you more money.
Absolutely. That's what the state always does. All right. Any other discussion? Then moving on to discussion item B, 2018 Citizen Survey Draft, cost to send out the survey. I believe this was a question that was asked at the last city council meeting, and I think the city manager said he would come back to us with some information / data numbers.
So I don't know if you've actually seen the draft at this point. We kind of just are still working on it, we're not complete with it. I was going to have our representatives reach out to the library and the Parks and Rec to see if they'd like to have any inclusion in this. But it's a pretty hefty survey as it is. It's 4 double-sided pieces of paper. But it's important for us to go out and get our grade. I've been here for 15 months now, 16 months. The city's moving in the right direction, in my opinion. But it sure would be nice if we'd have a couple hundred people agree with me. So I'd like to send it out. We'd like to see what people have to think and say. And of course, I think sometimes you can be surprised with what citizens think is important versus what we think is important. So it's always nice to get their opinions so that we can then turn around and say, well, maybe we should be addressing this issue instead of, what we thought was important.
I don't know if I won't speak for the rest of council, but I know that people seem to feel very comfortable approaching me, particularly in Meyer. So I feel like I need to set up a desk there, have some office hours. But I'm hearing quite a bit of good things about what people are very excited about the library. That was very important for this community to have that completed. And then the brewery and basically the kind of revitalization that's happening downtown is what I keep hearing about. So, I feel like from the response that I'm getting, I'm not opposed to a survey, but on some level, that is why we're here, is so citizens can come talk to us.
It's also important to set a baseline, though.
I'm not saying it's bad, I guess it depends how much it costs.
Well, it's actually not that expensive in the great scheme of things.
Okay.
But if you have the same questions asked now and the same questions asked 3 or 4 years from now, you could see an upward trend or a downward trend in certain categories, and then you can adjust your resources accordingly. I think when we discuss it, it's in my notes, but it's about $350 to send out the survey to half of our utility addresses. And that was with the expectation that they would then use their own postage to send it back or drop it off at City Hall.
So $700 would hit pretty much everyone.
Yeah, I think so.
Give or take.
Well, we have about 950 utility addresses. It's 67 cents per mailing, so that's $550-ish.
Okay.
We're also talking $30 or so for 500 envelopes, staff time, that kind of thing.
Okay. That feels.
Yeah, so under 1,000.
We're not talking about we're not talking about I participated when the library was trying to be built in getting studies done that cost, $12,000.
No, this is something that we would take care of in-house. Obviously, it's very difficult to manage these on the back end because if you ask an open-ended question, then you have to compile the data of, just various answers, It's not always as cut and dry as A, B, or C. But we do hope to, in our spare time, compile something that can give us some direction.
Well, not only that, and I'm glad that people are comfortable approaching. Apparently, I don't get that.
Maybe you're just not at Meyer at the right time.
I'm mean. Anyway,
I think that's a complaint.
shoot, they go to, see, we've got it down. But I know that in a different career path, I was not able to come to City Hall for meetings.
Sure.
It wasn't possible.
Which is in part why we're on YouTube.
Exactly, and I think that it's important to continue to try.
Absolutely.
And if we can get this done for under $1,000,
I think that's, yeah.
I feel like this is worth it. I understand, it's when we're expense.
No, I agree.
You can call this is what we're doing with the road we didn't take. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to let the citizens have their ability to give feedback.
Absolutely.
Give comments.
I agree.
Everybody likes to have their
But I'm hearing the
opinion.
dollar amount, I feel much more comfortable.
So I guess what I'd say is let us finish up the draft, and then we'll bring it back to you guys with firm numbers of, Now, is this council interested in sending to everybody, all 900 plus? Do we want to take a percentage of that, 50%, 25%?
Oh, no, I would be all or nothing.
Well, because you're, the smaller numbers, you'd only be talking like it wouldn't go to anybody that wasn't paying for electrical, right? Or paying for utilities, like places like, for instance, like my building.
Well, and we did talk about that because we expect a lower rate of these surveys to get to renters. Because, you know, some of these rental places, the utility bill goes to, you know, one individual, the landlord, and it doesn't get to the individual. So we are talking about ways we can ameliorate that situation. We really do want people to get the survey and send it back. So we may have to go door to door on some of these. But yeah, the bigger problem is such a low return rate on stuff like this. I mean, I've seen communities get 5% return rate. And so if you only send out 250 and you get 5% return rate, that's useless data.
Yeah. I would prefer to do as complete a coverage as possible.
You could do it like the old propaganda, because we have the RC plane guys.
Yeah.
Just drop it from the sky.
Yeah, little piece of paper right now.
Like a ticker tape survey parade.
Attach candy to it. That's what we do for IEPs and things. It's pretty cool. Okay. Any other discussion? Then moving on to C, March Planning Commission and City Council meetings and the city manager's vacation. So we'll be setting these dates so that they can be published.
Yeah, I think we already set the dates back in December, right? Unfortunately, at that time, I wasn't aware I was going to be on vacation. So
You just had vacation last year.
I know, they keep letting me leave the building. It's shameful, really. But unfortunately, the timing just worked out that I'd be absent from both the Planning Commission and City Council meetings.
Sure.
Obviously, we'll work hard to get those agendas and packets and narrative reports and everything else for that. So
So are you and the mayor going to be gone at the same time?
yeah, I just discovered that the mayor will be gone in February from this meeting, and he indicated that depending on how well you do in February, he may stay in March as well.
That's what he told me on the phone today.
No, unfortunately, I will just be missing the March meeting. I will be here in February.
Okay, so I'm not going it alone.
No.
Good enough. So any discussion about that?
Other than the fact that I think both Darrell and Rebecca and Dave can walk you through the process.
Absolutely. Are you doing something fabulous and wonderful?
Hawaii.
That's fabulous and wonderful. So excellent. I'm glad to hear it.
So it may only be a half-hour meeting, is that what you're saying?
I honestly thought this was going to be a half-hour meeting, and
We miss Jerry a lot.
Shut up and vote. We love you, Jared. Item 9, communication.
What about the water distribution?
Oh, right, sorry. We were adding the water distribution, which was item D. And this is a discussion item, correct?
yes. So
Okay, Mr. Ducat, can you, or Mr. Manager?
I guess I'll start, and then Mr. Duke can finish me up. So this, yeah, this is one of those things that has been mandated by DEQ. Yeah, mandated by DEQ that we have a water asset management program. Is that what we're going for? Yeah. It's one of those things that Mr. Ducat was informed of in his first day on the job, and you know, it was due the next week. He just couldn't get it done. So we've come to understand that one of our engineers, one of our engineers associates, I don't know.
I'll take over.
Sure.
So all our different systems within Cedar, our water distribution system, our sewer systems, storm, streets, they're all a system. Well, the state they don't have, I guess, regulations right now for all of those systems, but they're moving in that direction. The DEQ is requiring and did require to have a AMP submitted by the first of the year. I wasn't aware of that until I got a letter from them last October. So this isn't something that you can just take care of in a week.
Of course not.
It's a lot of data. It's a lot of legwork. So in talking with
To clarify, like, we have some drains and things that we're not even entirely sure where they are. Am I correct?
I do not have a comment on that right now.
Okay. I mean, but I know that when we've done, and the mayor can talk to this in much more detail, But I mean, our water infrastructure is just so old.
All of it is, yeah, and a lot of it's updated and a lot of it's new, so.
Because, I mean, I know there's a drain that we're dealing with right now that goes under Main Street that's 100 years old.
Mhm.
So trying to find, there weren't copy machines.
Right, yep. Yeah, so
Not on
that's,
the floppy disk.
so that's what a lot of these programs kind of focus on are being able to actually see and know what all you have as far as your assets
Right.
and also establishing a program to upkeep and establish a capital improvement plan because really that's how it works. You have to have an asset program to establish that CIP.
Right.
So it's something that we're working on. My outreach to infrastructure alternatives, they have water quality department that actually writes the AMP
Oh,
for municipalities.
that's helpful.
And it's pretty basic as far as what they do, but it meets all the DEQ's requirements. It actually follows what the DEQ, they're.
Do we have to coordinate this with the county drain commission?
No, it has nothing to do with them. It's strictly
Okay.
based around our water distribution system.
Got it.
So, and that's it. All the other systems, those are things that we'll be working on in the future. But this is to be in compliance with the state. That has got to get done.
I didn't know if the state was requiring that we know where all the county stuff is.
Oh, yep. I don't really know how to answer that one either right now.
Okay.
Wait a minute, you're saying distribution, I think she's thinking drain stuff too, you're just talking about where we send the water to, right?
Yep, just
That
the
you're
water.
clarifying strictly from I was talking the entire drain structure. Like I
He's
know there's
not
county
talking
We're
drain.
talking draining, he's talking supply.
Got it.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes, you're right. I was not understanding that correctly.
Yeah, they're all different. They're all their own identities.
I get that.
Stormwater, sanitary sewer, water distribution.
And I know that. I thought you were talking the entire thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, it's just for water distribution.
Just water distribution. Okay.
Yep, so,
Well, that we probably know.
Well, so can I just jump in for a second? We need $2,500.
yep,
So
25 minutes.
So this,
Okay.
this asset management program is going to cost $2,500. It's required.
Certainly.
So,
They have an expectation for it.
so
So we'll need to, at some point in the future, we'll need to take this out of I'm looking at Darla. We'll need to take this out of the general fund, I'm assuming, and,
but with the increase in the spending limit, we can now pay for this in-house.
Okay.
But because we got this morning, I said, let's bring it to council just in case they don't increase the spending limit. So you guys are aware of it. I'm not seeing any, vigorously shaking heads.
certainly.
And unfortunately, it's just another mandate that the state passed down on them.
Not that the state would ever do that.
No.
That's the executive branch.
Right.
And just so council is aware, this is a pretty basic, only meeting requirements. This
Okay.
is something that we probably will revisit down the road to
Sure.
build off of.
And I don't even think it's bad. I mean, we should have and you're right, we can't determine fully how to maintain our assets if we don't have a full inventory of what those assets are. So that's, it's appropriate. Makes sense. And I'm grateful every single day for all of our water infrastructure. As every additional news article hits the news.
Yeah.
And I continue to fill up and feeling very safe. And thank you for that.
That's good.
Okay, other discussion. Then moving on to communications, item 9, potential state proposals for November 2018 election.
I think this is just something that we are sent on a regular basis, and we always like to bring these things to council so you guys know what's going on. Some interesting things. I will tell you that sometimes I think things are named in ways that they don't reflect what the actual policy is behind the proposal. So, we expect citizens to read up on what they're voting on.
So any discussion on this? Questions?
Too soon. Me,
What?
to study the proposals for
Well,
November.
no, this is to let you know what the potential ones are going to be.
Okay.
I just don't know the marijuana proposal, how that's going to work with the federal government seeming to be changing their policy. But I guess at some point that's between the state of Michigan and